Our first guest tonight is the basketball signee, the very first for the new coach, Kevin Young. 6 feet 8 inches tall, two-time Utah 6A Player of the Year, the son of our BYUtv colleague Kristen Kozlowski and our good friend Travis. Please welcome to the Wise Guys, Brody Kozlowski. Brody, did you comb your hair for this show, or is that just natural?
It's just natural. I did not comb it.
It just goes like that. So,
Yep.
you know, who was it? The great Rod Stewart. Somebody said, and you're too young, Brody, to know Rod Stewart, but they said, "How do you do your hair?" And he said, "Well, I wash it, I leave the shampoo in, and then I hang upside down until it dries." And yours look like you may have done that.
I saw your prom. I saw your prom pictures since we follow each other on Instagram, and this was the same hairstyle. So I'm figuring it was natural.
Yep.
It looks good. My question is, you're listed at 6'8". That's probably in sneakers, but you might be 6'9.5" with that hair. So
Probably.
It's good stuff. Now, before we get into some hard-hitting questions, does your mom like that hair, or would she wish you would part it and comb it and tie it down?
She wants to cut it. She don't like it like hanging over. She wants it more stylish, like middle part or like combed over. But I ain't gonna do that.
no, sometimes you can't do what mom says. So, and
most of the time you should.
You know, we're close to your mom and we love your mom, but sometimes you just have to do what you want to do. And I think on the hair, you have the right to do what you want to do there.
Yeah.
And now Kristen's gonna kill me for saying that, but hey, Brody, your senior year at Corner Canyon almost over, which is crazy. Seems like it flew by. We've been following you closely through your entire high school career,
and life, by the way,
and
before like your whole life,
pretty much. You're the first signee of a new era at BYU, the Kevin Young era. How eager are you to get to BYU and start working with this team?
I'm super excited to get to BYU and start. I think I'm going to be starting in June, so I'm super eager to get on campus and start the trainings and everything with the coaches.
2 coaching changes helped get you here. One at BYU, one at USC. You met Kevin Young for the first time on the night of his introductory news conference. How'd that visit go? You know, you get a first chance to make a first impression, and he had the same pressure on him. So how'd that go?
It was great meeting with him for the first time. He was awesome, super genuine, super chill. I feel like he was super straightforward to me on what he saw in me and saw in me as a player. So it was an awesome visit.
You mentioned that you like what he saw in you in a player. We had Trevin Nell on the show this last week, who's going to be your teammate. Well, is your teammate. You're committed now, so he's your teammate. And he mentioned that he and Kevin had a really good one-on-one about what he thought about himself, what Trevin thought his skills were. Kevin gave him an evaluation, and they talked about what he saw as the future and what Trevin could work on and what he could become. Did you talk about all of those things with Coach Young when you had your conversation as well?
Yes, I did.
Tell us about what that went like. What's his vision for you, and what's your vision for yourself after that conversation at BYU?
Yeah, he sees me as a really kind of like a glue guy. Like he sees me being physical. He sees me like going in transition, knocking down threes, coming off screens, setting screens and popping. So he sees all that. He can. I feel like for him, he can develop me into a high level pro overseas or in the NBA. I think this is a guy that can do that for me, and so I think I can't wait to be coached by him.
You're known, Brody, as a really big time. You talk about being a glue guy, but a big time effort, competitive guy that'll go out there and really get after it. Does that come? I wonder, does that come from your mom's side? Does that come? Because I know we know your mom, how she was. The Kozlowski side of the family. I know your grandpa Richard really well. I know Mike. I played with your uncle Glenn. Glenn's one of the most competitive people I ever met. So this reputation that you have as this crazy competitor, you get more of that from the Kozlowski side, or did your mom bring you that?
I would say a little bit more towards the Kozlowski side. My dad has that fire in him, and I think I kind of got that fire too. But I'm not gonna put my mom aside from that. My mom is very competitive and everything, so it's close. It's kind of both ways.
BYU basketball signee Brody Kozlowski is on the Wise Guys tonight. Averaged 20.4 points and 8.6 rebounds this past season at Corner Canyon High School. What was it about Coach Young that made you think, hey, BYU's where I want to be?
I think what he saw in me as a player and how he would utilize me and help me develop and grow was a big thing. And then also him creating BYU as an NBA pipeline was a big thing too. So I think that was all great things.
Was there a family element in there too? And we'll talk about this again in a moment. But was there a little bit more than basketball that made you want to play at BYU? I mean, your parents went here.
Yeah, Coach has like family of tie lines, of course, past family members going there and everything. And I think the fan base is also a big thing too. There's no one like BYU fans in this whole nation. So just having that support was a big thing too.
You had a great visit with Coach Young, it sounds like, and then you find out a little bit later that Chris Burgess is going to join the staff. And I know you had a lot of interaction with Chris, both when you were younger, when he was at BYU, when he was at Utah. You had conversations with him. What did you think about Chris Burgess being added to the staff, and what's your relationship like with him?
I think Chris Burgess is an amazing coach. He did recruit me early on. I think he sees the same things that Coach Young sees. I think he'll develop players really well. I think he's just a big piece to this puzzle. And so I'm excited for all of us coming together collectively as a team, and I'm excited for what we can do in the Big 12.
A lot of guys have mentioned that Chris is a great recruiter, but you know who are great recruiters? The guys in the program.
Yeah.
And so you decide you're going to come. You were a USC guy. That coaching staff changes, as Dave mentions, and then all of a sudden you're back out there, and now there's this new staff at BYU, and sounds like they painted the vision of exactly where you felt you would fit. How much do you now get involved with going out and other guys? Because you've played on the national circuit a bunch and have friends all over the country. Do you actively now help in the effort to get other great players to come play with you?
I'm not like actively helping, but I will if they ask me to. I know a lot of people nationally, of course. So if they need me to help, of course, I'll reach out to players that they're interested in. So right now, I'm not really actively trying to recruit any.
Brody, here's a comment on the live stream tonight, which is all over the world. Brody is the most genuine guy you'll ever meet. He works harder than anyone. I know.
To improve his game.
Anyone to improve his game. Does that not sound like something your grandfather would say?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Well, he's on the stream tonight, so you can give him a shout out. The Kozlowski name has been a BYU name. You're related to Glenn, who caught passes from Blaine, the 1984 national championship team. Of course, Kristen, your mom, your dad, Travis, they met at BYU. Kristen's our colleague. It has been for a long, long time. It will continue to be for a long, long time. So how happy were all of those folks that you finally decided on the blue and white?
They were super stoked, super excited for me and staying close to them. And I think they're just excited for what I can do at BYU and carry on our name. So they're super stoked.
You know, BYU's in the Big 12 now, so it's you're going to make your name at BYU against a higher level of competition than anyone in your family.
Yep. Yes, I will.
Are you excited for that? Will it be, what kind of transition from Corner Canyon to, say, going back to Lawrence and playing Kansas?
Yeah, I'm super excited. It'll be some great atmosphere, some great teams to play, some great competition. Like, it's the best in the nation, the competition. So I think that will help me develop as a player and even as a person over the years. So I'm super stoked and excited to get started.
What do you think about you coming in, you're a freshman, you're making this transition from high school to college. How do you envision your freshman year going? Like, what do you think you can contribute right off the bat, and what are your expectations going into this first year?
My expectations is I of course want to play, either coming off the bench or starting. I want to be a physical, very up-tempo guy. I want to push the ball. I want to get rebounds. I want to do all the little things on the court that the coach needs me to do. And so that's the big thing that I want as my goal. So that's my freshman year. I know we're like surrounded by a ton of scorers. So scoring, of course, I'm going to do that as well. But overall, I just want to do all the little things that coach needs me to do.
Well, Brody, we've got 5 little questions that you've got to do first before you can do all of that.
Nobody can come to BYU until they do our 5 questions.
Are you ready?
So this is for so folks can get to. Hey, one other thing before we do it, so people get an idea of, because we've watched you really closely, and you're not just a long 6'7", 6'8" guy that can shoot. You're pretty put together. Like, your playing weight. What do you expect to play at this fall? When you
are you saying, like, do you say my weight?
Yeah, your weight. What do you think your playing weight? Like, what's your goal in terms of playing weight this fall?
Yeah, so right now I'm like 235. So I'm hoping to be around 230, maybe high 220s. So that's what I'm hoping to get, just be more physical, be bigger body when I get into the Big 12 and everything.
Yeah, that's
your mom's gonna have to cut out sweets at the house
because he wants to be he wants to be a lean 230. But I mean, think about that. That's a Big 12 body, and that's what Kevin Young, was recruiting when he was looking at Brody. He's like, hey, here's a 6'8" guy that can really shoot it.
Yeah.
But at 230 and lean, he can go bang and rebound and do all the things he's going to need to do because this is a league with big guys. And so, yeah, that's fun. I just want people to understand that you're not just a tall guy, you're also a big physical guy, and that's going to be fun to having the program. So now we can go to our 5 questions. And you're not even ready. You can't even think about these. You just have to go with whatever.
And we're writing them down, so we'll reference them later.
I forgot to go pull Kristen's and see what hers is.
We'll figure it out. Okay.
Your favorite sports movie?
Remember the Titans, I'd say.
Oh yeah,
that's
our number one pick from all of the hundreds of guests that have been on. Your favorite singer or band?
Ooh. I'm not really a band guy. I'm more like an artist. I like Drake, and then I also like Morgan Wallen and like country artists. I like a lot of country artists.
So you're eclectic. That's a good one. You Drake, who's awesome, and then more in the hip hop, R&B, and then you got Morgan Wallen country. This is nice. It's good. Okay, I'll go with either of those. Your favorite breakfast cereal?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. My favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you finish the box or do you let your brothers have some?
Oh, I finished it. Yeah. They can't have any.
That sounds about right. When you're 6'8", 240, that sounds about right.
Okay, your favorite basketball moment of your entire career?
I think winning state my junior year was one of my favorite moments, and also going to the Nationals in Washington, D.C. Those are two of my favorite moments, and that was super fun.
Nice. Okay, this is probably the most important question of all the 5 questions. Your favorite advice that your mom ever gave you?
Keep your arm up on your shot. Like, don't put it down. She always says that. And
what is she talking about?
Does she nag you with that one? Like, what are you doing? Keep your arm up. Let's go. Keep your arm up.
She always says that on my shot. So if I put it down, I kind of get tripped at for doing that, because that's most like the time I'm shorting it or it's going long. So just hold my follow through. She's always saying that.
Keep your arm up. Okay.
So after your shots at BYU, we're going to see you just leave your arm up.
We're going to see this beautiful high finish where it just comes off of his fingertips, and then he keeps that hand high and the ball goes in. That's what we're going to see.
All right, we're looking forward to that.
Coached up by mom. That's great.
Brody, we're going to probably interview you so many times before your BYU career is over. We're just glad we started with this one officially, and we look forward to calling your games and having a good time. Finish up. Enjoy graduation. We'll see you down here in next month. How about that? Next month's June, so we'll see you back down here next month.
Yep, that sounds great. Thank you for having me on.
You bet. Everybody's excited to have you down here. Thanks, Brody.
Say hi to your folks. That's the great Brody Kozlowski, and he's gonna bring some outside shooting, a physical presence even to the outside, and then he can take it in.
It's like, if you think about what Kevin Young did, and like, he was still coaching the Phoenix Suns at the time. They come up, they announce him as the head coach. He has a press conference, and immediately within one day, while they're still getting ready for the playoffs, reaches out to every one of the players that are in the portal and the top recruits and has one-on-ones with them. First thing he does is he secures Richie Saunders and Dallin Hall, and they're back in the fold. They're in. And then he goes and gets the top recruit in the state of Utah, who had previously committed to USC, and there was a coaching change, and he gets him to commit immediately. You think about that in a couple of days. That is a phenomenal job by Kevin Young in the first couple of days after having that job.